So I am Jay Boushee, principal at the Kirtland Elementary School in Kirtland, New Mexico. There are two Kirtland Elementaries in New Mexico. We're in Kirtland itself. We are a pre-K 6 school working, but our kinder through sixth participate in Happy Numbers. Our preschool, of course, being preschool, as we all know, it has its own sets of what they're learning. They're just learning numbers and all the basics that go with that. So we've been using Happy Numbers as a school, I want to say the last 4 years, if I remember correctly. I had a teacher used it 5 years ago. She brought it to my attention, and we've been using it since. I think the biggest math instructional piece was the resources we used. The program. I won't call it the curriculum. I think our standards are still our curriculum, but the company that we chose for our math resource and kids understanding it and not having all the foundational skills, even though their grade level teachers are busting their tails and the kids are learning. Mm-hmm. They were behind, and we're still behind. We're chasing. That unfortunate cough back in 2020 caused a lot of us to fall behind, and we saw Happy Numbers as the way to start moving that, and more kids are holding on to their math skills. I'm seeing that piece that, a second grade student that was performing at a kindergarten level at the start of the school year, who maybe did get to second grade readiness at the end of the year, which is, 2-year growth. Mm-hmm. They're closing the gap closer and closer. And so many students are starting the year almost ready or ready. We're not 2 years behind as we were back then. So a teacher brought it to my attention, and she's a reading expert. She's nationally board certified as an early reading teacher. And she said she's always had decent math scores. I mean, at the end of the year, her kids performed, but they weren't like setting the world on fire. And she said, "Look at this. We've closed gaps." And I said, "Well, how do you know you closed gaps?" Because that's that program's assessment. It's Happy Numbers assessment. And they could tell you anything they want to keep you getting money from them. I mean, we know that there are companies that do that. Oh, look how much your kids grew. They only grew about that much, but they tell you they grew off the screen. And so I said, well, let's look at your other data. So we looked at the other resources we were using, which was the state of New Mexico required iStation. At the time, we still require for K2 iStation math and a mirror reading. And then we also had STAR math assessment. And we looked at the end of the year results, and kids that were not ready at the beginning of the year were at grade level. And she goes, I didn't change the way I taught. She goes, I just added this to my daily intervention time. It was a center for her. And she said, but then it didn't become a center. It's the kids work on it, but then she's looking and she goes, oh, Audra's having struggles on this skill. Audra, come here and sit down. Let's look at it. Okay, now go try a little bit more. And then she'd look at the dashboard again. Oh, Emma, you're struggling on this skill. Come here, let's talk about it. She didn't just let the kids be. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And when I saw that, I said, you know what, we can do this. So I thought, well, what's one try? And it was free at that point. When we looked at it, we were able to get a free trial for a good chunk of the school year, and we started seeing the growth. And I said, well, we're fools if we don't do it. And teachers are like, oh yeah, we need to keep doing it. My kids love it. It's interactive, and it matches what they're doing in the classroom. And so we bought it, and we have used it ever since. And so, we have others. We had a fluency program. So my teachers like it. Emma and I have talked, we're going to work on getting, making sure we know how to get into that a little bit better in the program. But I'm seeing the growth in the grade levels where they're using it religiously, as I would say. Those that are fulfilling the 30 to 45 minute weekly commitment to it show growth at the end of the year. Those that go, well, we did 15 minutes this week, they still show growth. It's just not the same levels. I mean, when you're averaging a year and a half growth in classrooms where they use it 30 to 40 minutes a week, like it takes away teaching time. It's during intervention time, or kids that we have a bilingual program. So some of our students go to a language program, and those students that are still in the classroom can do this, and they make those gains. They get that time. We do. We're starting to see more student talk because of it, because of their confidence.
Great.
And I was just talking with a consultant yesterday, and we talked about, one of the biggest things that we're going to do to improve student math performance is students talking about mathematics. And students are getting that through Happy Numbers. They're not getting the talking opportunity, but they're getting the knowledge of, I now know how to do a problem, so I can talk about the problem, which we weren't seeing that 3-4 years ago. They knew how to do the problem, but they weren't confident in it. Now they're confident in it. And it might not be every skill, but they're confident in a large percentage of them, and they're willing to take a risk talking about it. My first grade has been the biggest. And if I remember correctly, I want to say my fourth and fifth grade. My fourth, not as much. My fifth has really grown as well. We have a trouble area, as I think everybody does. It's kindergarten, we start off great. First grade, we're good. Second grade, we're starting to slow down. Third grade, we almost come to a halt. Then we have to start picking it back up in fourth and fifth grade. Our fifth graders are those COVID kindergartners. And we have a large number of kids now. At the end of our state interim assessment, 41% of our kids were performing at or above target. At the beginning of the year, we were at 11%. It's a combination of things, of course, but they showed 1.4 growth average across the board as a group. Gee, I wonder what did that. And they showed that in Happy Numbers from the beginning of the year to the end of the year assessment. Yes, the teaching happened as well, but the kids were getting those skills that maybe I didn't know or you didn't know they were missing, and the program was able to help them find it. And that's important. Teachers don't always know, and it's not anything against any teachers, but they don't always know what the missing skill was. But Happy Numbers will tell you they're missing skill OA 3.4. And then they work on it. And that's huge. Yeah, teachers don't have, it's hard to go back and say, well, how do I know if they know that or don't know that? They have to go back and find third grade material if they're a fifth grade teacher, or first grade material if you're a fourth grade teacher. And Happy Numbers does that for them, and it'll tell them. And then if I decide that I want to work with them, instead of allowing the software to deliver lessons, I can take that time and I can sit down, but I know because of Happy Numbers where I need to do it. And if I go, gosh, what does that standard exactly say? And I don't want to go digging, I can click on a problem and go, oh, that's what it is. And I can spend that time with them. And that's huge for kids. And it's huge for teachers. I mean, it's going to save time. That student talk. They're willing to talk about it in the regular instruction. But they talk about it while they're on Happy Numbers, because some teachers have, it's Happy Number block time. We all have 15 minutes. And if I walk by, the kids are talking about the problems. Even though I'm working on a different problem, they're going, look, I got this. And they're showing their friends, and they're, most times kids don't want to do that. They don't want to show, even if they're successful, but they're like, look. And they'll hold their iPad up and say, hey, I was at a 2.1. I'm at a 2.6 now. I'm in third grade stuff. And but they're happy even if they're in fourth grade, because they're confident that they're going to get closer and they're moving. It's not, oh man, I'm still in second grade stuff and I'm in fourth grade. No, they're happy, that they're proud that they're moving. And, for kids to do that, especially that age, that fourth, fifth grade age, they don't want any attention brought to them. They're not like middle schoolers who want no attention. than solely attention, but they're starting that mindset of, I don't want to draw attention to myself, but I will let you know if I want you to know I'm doing well. And they're showing that, and it's really nice to see that. There's some kids that if the teacher doesn't do happy numbers that day, they're upset because they know they're missing an opportunity to grow farther. I think it's the end picture. They see the growth that they're making. The teachers that are really good and they go, hey, it's not the middle of the year. So let's say it's November and the middle of the year is not for another month. And they go, hey guys, we started the year and the average was a 1.4 grade. Maybe we're in second grade, but we're all at 1.4. Right now we're at a 1.9 or 2.1. Yeah, we're behind as an average, but look how far we've moved. And that talk about it, the kids really get excited for that. Like I said, there are some kids that they have about 10 minutes from the time breakfast starts till class starts when they get in the room. And the teacher doesn't even have to tell them. It's not even part of it's get on and do something, whether it's take your AR test or do your happy numbers, or if they had to finish another piece of homework, they'll honestly get on happy numbers before they'll get on AR, even though they know that they need those points. They will skip their homework once in a while instead of completing that to get on happy numbers. And it's the interactive piece. It's very user friendly. It's not, yes, it's cartoon drawn or there's animation that are in that piece, but it's not silly stuff that they're sitting there going, this is childish. Yeah. It's not that it's the kindergartners and fifth graders see the same type of things, but it's not little, too little for the fifth graders or too big for the kindergartners. It fits that whole age band. And that's a big age band. I mean, it's 6 years, and that's there's a lot in a 6-year window. I mean, I have grandkids from first to sixth, and they all like it. So kids just like it. There's something about it. It's the color. It's what they've needed again. It's back to our cartoons, but there's explanation there. You're not left hung out to dry. Oh my gosh, I didn't know how to do it and I got none of them right. No, it'll take you back through and go, hey, remember when we did this, and this is how you do that. So even the showing of what might be missed in there is beneficial. So. I think the skill reports for a lot of them is the biggest thing. They go in and they go, oh, we're missing this skill, or we have some kids that are behind in this skill, and I need this skill to do tomorrow's work. They find a way to work into, how do I support the kid missing that skill or low in that skill, yet teach today's lesson or tomorrow's lesson. And so they're looking back at what in that skill do they have to do today, and how am I going to teach today, knowing that some kids may struggle with it. So how do I front load it in a way that I can get it quickly through to them and then move forward? But they'll even go in. I have some that will go in and say, okay, we are low on, and I'll just call it skill 7. Mm-hmm. And so they go back and they assign skill 7 to every kid, whether I know how to do it or don't know how to do it. And then the kids do that the day before or during an intervention time before class, that block of math teaching. And so at least the kids are familiar with it and have seen it. So they bring it to light. It's not them having to go find a video from another resource or finding a teacher pay teacher worksheet or any of that. They can actually find something that is on that standard at the right level, whether it be procedural, application, or conceptual. Because the worksheets may not. The worksheet just may say, oh yes, we do the standard exactly like we're supposed to. Well, they don't. It's just a worksheet with some problems on it. Okay. And so for the time-saving piece, they know what skills might be missing, which is huge, because if you teach the lesson and you're missing the skill needed to be successful, you wasted your time teaching that lesson. So they make sure, a large number make sure that they have at least a way to pre-teach it, even if it's not using happy numbers, but they know, oh, it said I need this, so I'm going to do this before I teach the lesson. And so they front load. And we're going to do more of it. We're going to dig into this a little bit deeper now and really utilize more of the tools and say, look at the gains that teachers made. And talk to them. Why did they make the gains? What did they do that you're not doing? And it's going to spark conversation. People will say the dollar amount's important, and it is. We had a lot of impact aid money, and so, but it wasn't even about the investment of the money. It's the investment in kids and teacher time. It's an inexpensive application or program or whatever. It's inexpensive when you compare what we get to do with it. If we had a consultant come in and spend time with us to do what Happy Numbers does, the going rate is about $4,000 a day for a consultant, and it would take 4 or 5 days over the course of the year to do that. We're talking $20,000. And the kids don't get the access to that consultant. Here they have access to the consultant.
Yeah.
And that's what I kind of think of it as. Teachers do need to look a little bit deeper into it when they don't just dump their kids on it. That's the biggest piece, is don't use it as a dump and a station babysitter or a center. You have to interact with it. You have to look at what the kids need, but it's instant. It's not, I look at it, I take it home, I grade it, and then I address it tomorrow. I can look at it while they're on it, and I can address the issue right now. No consultant can do that for you. There might be other applications that can do the same thing, but this is based on the standards that are essential in the grade levels using Common Core. It might not match every state, but almost every state, if there are 45 standards and there's 30 essential, they're almost the same 30 in every state. We still have to get those standards to these kids and make sure that they know how to do them. And this is a great resource to do that for us. They keep asking, what have we done? What are we doing? And it's not as much from the central office standpoint as my colleagues. There are a minimum of 2 elementaries out of the 8 of us. So there's 3 of us that I know are using, and I think 4 that are using it. Some are very new. They're new within the last year or 2 years. But they're starting to see the growth as well. And we talk about that and they go, it's the only thing we've added. Everything else, we're all doing the same thing. We do Happy Numbers at Kirtland Elementary, and other schools are now doing it, and they're starting to see growth where they weren't seeing growth before. They'd see the normal yearly growth, but they weren't seeing it above the normal growth. If the normal growth over the year was 10 to 12%, they're seeing 12 to 20% growth. They're seeing that bigger growth. And the only change they've done is adding Happy Numbers. Because they asked me, they go, well, what are you doing? This is what we're doing. My first grade teachers are using it, and they are, large number of their kids at the end of the year are proficient or at grade level. And so that's huge. It's, watching that is, why wouldn't you keep using it? That's, if it's like going to the doctor and the doctor says, take this medicine, and you start feeling better. Oh, I feel better. I'm going to stop taking it. Why would you do that? So teachers are really starting to see the benefit, and even at the district level. And I know at one time our elementary coordinator was in talks. I don't know if it was with Emma or Anna about how do we get a district license, and doing something like that. Where would it be? That was the only thing, and because she saw what we were doing, and I wouldn't change it. I mean, if they tell me that they won't pay for it, which they don't, I will find a way out of whichever budget I can to make it work, because I think it's vital for kids. And I have a couple colleagues. One of them said that they won't be without it. I think that for me, the biggest thing just was how much growth would we see? You know, I've not, I can say without it, we haven't seen a year's growth in students. But now we're seeing that year's growth at every grade level that's using it. And they're all using it. I should say we see a year's growth at every grade level, and we weren't seeing that before. You know, I've been I've been here for 11 years, and prior to we didn't have it when I was the assistant pre-COVID, and we weren't seeing a year growth then. But now we're starting to see a year's growth. So what's the only difference? It's not the teachers, because I only have a couple of teachers that I've hired in that time frame. We've added happy numbers. You know, so what can I say 100% that that's the reason? No, but can I say it's a very big contributor? Yes. You know, I'd ask them, are you buying books for your teachers? You know, are you buying the NCTM books or any of those different readings to look at how to improve math instruction? And if, you know, one thing is if their answer is yes, I'm going to say, how do you know they're reading them? You know, it's very easy to look at happy numbers and know they're using it. I can't guarantee that you read a book, and I can't guarantee that you implemented what you read in the book, even if I come sit in your classroom every day for 6 weeks. Mm-hmm. But if I can't get to your classroom, I can get onto happy numbers, and I can look and say, oh, Miss Jones is using happy numbers. And look, her kids are averaging 30 minutes a week. Great, she's on pace, she's doing what she's supposed to. And then we can have that actual conversation. And it's a resource. It's a resource for kids that need gaps closed. And it's an inexpensive resource for that. I can guarantee education buildings and teachers and administrators spend money on way more frivolous things. Do we need 2 ice machines in a building? You know, and they're $3,000. Well, yes, they might last you multiple years, but do you really need 2 ice machines? You know, we buy things that we don't need all the time. Do we need 400 pencil sharpeners with a staff of 20? No, but we buy them. So let's be smart and let's buy something that'll help our kids. And if you use it for a year and you don't like it, what are you out? Ooh, a little bit of money. I mean, it's less than 6% of a budget in a building. That's minimal when you think of it in that run, because I know I can guarantee you they're spending money they don't need to. And bringing consultants in are great if you want to change a mindset, and you can bring them in more than one time. If you only bring them in one time, you're not going to change a mindset. We've all been to those. We've all seen those professional developments and, oh yes, this is great. And then you go back and you have no support. You have support with happy numbers. If teachers need to, they can email. The team will set up a Zoom call with them or a Google Meet call, whichever one, and they'll take them through it. They'll walk them through exactly how to use it if they can't figure it out and they get stuck. But it's so user friendly. And so take the risk. Tell them, take the risk. You're not going to be disappointed at the end of the year. You know, if I could, I'd say, hey, at the end of the year, if you don't like it, we're going to refund half the money. I mean, that'd be, you know, I'd love to say, I'll give you the money, but you know, I can't do that. And one, I don't have it, and two, I can't do that. Yeah. But I don't think they're going to run into it, you know, and that's the other plus side, is that there usually is a free trial period that's significant enough that kids and teachers can see the benefits. It's not, you know, even in a 30-day window, if they do it right, they can see the growth in kids. Take the risk. Take advantage of the free trial. Get signed up. Try it. Got nothing to lose, just to gain. A resource to help teachers identify student needs, and an avenue for students to help themselves gain a better understanding on the skills they're missing. I wish they would have had this back when I was in the classroom, but I was in secondary, so this might not have been the most beneficial tool in secondary, but I wish it would have been there for those elementary students that needed it when I was when I was in the classroom. I wish I would have found it earlier. I wish I'd have found it day one that they came out, because I think we're missing the growth. The growth is just immeasurable, not just in the academic growth. Oh, my beautiful camera or my sensor likes to go off. Not just in the kids' academic growth, but in the kids' confidence growth. And we know when kids are confident in anything, they can be successful. And so, I mean, I've not yet seen a kid that has started the year 2 years below grade level that hasn't been less than a year. So, for example, a first grader who started maybe in a pre-K setting were at least at first grade at the start of the year. They were at the end of the year. So they were only that year behind, not the 2 or 3 that they were before. They've been at least at the start of the grade level that they're in by the end of the year. And to close 2 years of gap is huge. They're still behind, but boy, if they did it one more year, now where are they? They're at grade level. And happy numbers is a great way to get there. So.